Majesties. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for returning. Trust you and yours are well, and you're loving yourself and others like always. Many thanks to all of you for the supporting it to the channel. Thank you so much to our channel members, to our anonymous supporters, to all of you, my esteemed subscribers. You love, celebrated, and of course appreciated. I want us to have a listen to this China's message to Africa. In a situation or a time where Africa is like the bread which they are beginning to share. They are pacifying, begging, pleading. China is on the other side. America is on the other side. It's like between China and America, there is a huge war going on. And why is that war going on? That war is going on because of Africa. Why? Because of the resources, everything in the motherland. The Americans are seeing that they are gradually being kicked out and China is being allowed in. And there's something trending recently about Japan. There's this relationship that they're trying to forge with Africans. I don't know what that is, but I think African countries and their leaders have to be very careful. Because let it not be that we keep trading one colonizer to the other. Japan is coming, helping Africa, giving Africa opportunity. I'm hearing Japan everywhere, left, right, center. Let's be careful. Now, we are all aware that there is a feud right now between the Chinese government, the American government. Before now, America have tried their best to accuse China of a lot of things, okay? And China retaliated and given reasons why they are acting the way they act because America is doing the impossible. Anyway, I'm going to roll in that clip from, what's his name? Timo Media. And this is just a call to you. Timo Media is on YouTube here. Do well by subscribing to his channel, okay? Timo Media. I'm going to leave a video from him so that you listen to him. He's a very educated person who is well aware of geopolitics, right? And just go to his channel, subscribe to his channel, and help him reach the milestone that he wants to reach, Your Majesties. Let's help a brother, right? Now, China is doing everything possible to see that they get something, a hold, a stable hold, a stable ground in the continent. While Africa is agitating to kick out America. They are taking advantage of the situation. We also saw how those, congressmen and women, the Senate were seated deliberating about the continent of Africa without any African present. Because they are aware that a lot is beginning to change and the power is shifting from their hand. Why do you think African countries prefer other nations than the West now? It is so simple. Because they say that the West do not play fair games. I keep telling you here, the reason why the Sahel leaders are bent on destroying everything the West in their region is because they feel that the West is like an evil spirit. Well, I'm using that word just for it to qualify the gravity of the evil done to them and the level of dislike right now that they have for the West, Europe and America. Because the relationship they have is the relationship of a slave and a master. You are living on my resources, but you say I'm the slave and you are the master. There is no equality in anything. There is no respect in anything. And the respect given to them is not reciprocated. These are the cries of the Sahel leaders. And the reason why they're cutting off. And this is the same reason why a lot of African countries will still pull out from Europe and America. Now, delving towards China, I keep saying it. Whichever sovereign body an African nation is trying to do business with, that African nation should be very careful and tread with caution. So that the mistake done with Europe and America will not be the same mistake that will be done between that nation, that sovereign body, and any country in the continent of Africa. Because in as much as we are saying, okay, this part might be better than the other part, if care is not taken, we must still fall into the same ditch that we are trying our best to pull ourselves from. So let's listen to this, and we'll listen to Timo Media. There is time to get off from there.
Africa need to use your own brain power to make up your own judgment. In the world of today, you hear a lot of talks about whether, Africa should be forced to make a choice between China versus the United States. I think that's the wrong choice. The real choice for Africa, as well as for the rest of mankind, is whether the United States is doing the right thing or is doing the wrong thing. Or whether China is doing the right thing or doing the wrong thing. If the United States is doing the right thing, Work with the United States. But if the United States is doing the wrong thing, why should you bother about working with the United States or following its leadership? Similarly, if China is doing the right thing, why don't you want to work with China? And, God forbid, if China is doing the wrong thing, why should you work with China? That means African countries, people in Africa, need to use your own brain power to make a decision first, whether this country or that country is doing the right thing or the wrong thing. Don't be forced by any other country to make a choice which will not serve your fundamental interest. Now, when I traveled a little bit in Rwanda yesterday, in Kigali, let me tell you my real observation. I think Kigali is in better shape today compared with China back in 1978, when China started to reform and opening to the outside world, attracting FDI into China. The philosophical point I want to emphasize is that if China can do this in 46 years, Rwanda and Africa can do it in the coming 4 decades or so. Have faith in yourself. Keep faith in yourself. China is a success story which can be repeated by the great people here in Rwanda and the great people here in Africa. Now, another piece of advice. What is the foundation upon which security should be based, not only for Rwanda but for Africa? Security never exists in a vacuum. Security should be based on several things, which are the pillars. One is maintain stability at home. The other one is keep peace with your neighbors. And the third one, as Deng Xiaoping, for whom I had the great honor to work with before, development is the hard truth. Develop, develop, develop. Power. I understand, even in this great country of Rwanda, you may not have sufficient amount of power. Focus on that. Get that done. That will provide a much better context, whereby security for Rwanda, security for Africa as a continent will be better reinforced. Thank you.
Wow.
So America is trying to contain China by force. This is the most important part of the story that the Western media is not telling you. America is the problem here, not China. Let's analyze the map together. Look at this map very, very well. So America is building military bases around China, and they are telling the Chinese that they have no right to complain. They should shut up. The Western media is pushing a narrative that communist China is the problem here. They are calling Chinese a communist state. They are evil. They are disturbing their neighbors. But America, nobody is telling you this part of the story. America is building military bases around China. And you expect the Chinese to be quiet? Let's turn it around. Will America accept or allow the Chinese to build military bases in Cuba or Mexico? Will they accept? Will Pentagon accept? No. So why are they building military bases around China? You see, America is the main reason why there's no peace in this world. They leave their country, go to other countries and cause problems. And if these countries complain, they demonize the countries, they demonize their leaders and call them evil. This is the most important part of the story the Western media is not telling you. Why can't Americans sit in their countries and just allow other countries to be? They should allow countries to make their own decisions. Why can't they sit in their country? You go around the world building military bases. You are building military bases on the borders of superpowers, and you expect them to be quiet. We have only 3 superpowers in this world: China, Russia, and America. And America is trying to contain both Russia and China. You think they are stupid? America has already lost the economic war. Now everybody is running away from United States global hegemon. People are now moving towards China and Russia. People now prefer to trade with China and Russia and not Americans, because Americans have weaponized their currency. They've weaponized everything. So nobody trusts them again.
Okay, that's Timo Media there, Your Majesties. Like I said, do well by subscribing to his channel. And then let's get him to a good number of subscribers. Now, what the Chinese said that I think is something that we should deliberate more upon is we should use our brain power as Africans. Do we most of the times use our brain power? I think this question should be tabled to especially those who represent Africa in all international bodies and the rest. Do they use their brain power? To our leaders, do you use your brain power? Or you use emotion or that that main time enjoyment to make decisions, calculations based on your own selfish interest. Because if we use our brain power, most of the decisions that are made on behalf of nations in the continent will not be made. Recently, I saw that, what's the name of this country? Oh my good, Botswana. Botswana, I was hoping that Botswana was. I was happy lately that Botswana was rising up, and then to see that Botswana had given, it made a deal of, I think, 12 billion US dollar with an Arab body. And I'm asking myself, what is happening? If that deal is not managed properly, that is you selling your country to the Arab world. We are all aware what these people did to the motherland, how they pillaged the continent of Africa. So there is the fight between, Europe and America. Who would be the one that will win? There's a fight between America and China to see who would win, especially when it comes to Africa. And why are they doing all these things? They are doing it because of resources. See, whoever controls Africa, when I say control, I mean whoever is on the good side of Africa will develop, will become world power. Why do you think the nations that were world power, where world power is successful? They were successful because they had a ground in the motherland. The whole of Europe and America were built on the backs of enslaved Africans. Developed so-called first world country today are built with the resources of so-called third world nations. So what are we saying? That if we do not use our brain power, we'll be taken advantage of. If our leaders can think critically before signing any deal, most of these things that we are in today would have not been in it. In as much as we are not ruling the facts that they've sat down in Berlin Conference of 1884, 1885 and decided our life already. That we are aware of. But we cannot do that by not creating more mistakes, by not accepting more troubles to ourselves. Your Majesties, when we keep telling you here that if you do not value yourself, no other, sovereign body will value you. That is exactly the same thing that we're seeing here today. You should know your worth and know how to place your cards or play your card. And this is to all African leaders and all those who move around different countries in the name of Africa. If you represent Africa well and don't accept anything because you're Africa, you should accept everything, things will begin to change. What do you think? Leave your thoughts and opinion there at the section. I'm going to see you in my next one. Until then, love yourself, love others, stay safe, stay positive always, Your Majesties. Bye for now.